Hi guys, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? I'm about to be done with this piece that I've been working on for a couple days and I'm going to switch to something else, but I was just testing out a potential background, like almost like a wallpaper for this, but I think it looks fine with the black, but I'd like to just see if I can almost make it look like it has some wallpaper going on. How is everybody doing? Hi, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. I'm just seeing if any of the blending modes do anything. Probably not because it is on black. The gray could work, like the luminosity makes it gray. Oh, thank you. I'm pretty happy with the way that this turned out. I think if I take a break from it for, a little while. Oh, I forgot to let me put everything on. Do not disturb. I think, if I take a break from it and come back to it, I'm pretty sure, I'll be able to see things with just, a clearer vision. I think it's good to walk away from pieces and come back to them. This might even look good with like actual textured, like some sort of like a old school, I'm trying to think of like what it would be called, but like swirlies in the background, swirls. The way that like older wallpaper used to have more floral designs. Hi everybody, welcome, welcome. Yes, I thankfully was able to at least figure out what the color inside of this, I don't know, is it a mirror, is it a frame, is it a portal, I don't know, but it happened. But let's see. So I have a couple things that I could work on. One, I made this design the other day. I want to do something like this, but with slightly different colors. So this would be like it's a seamless pattern. Theoretically speaking, I should be able to duplicate this and have it be seamlessly duplicated. But I have a different color palette that I wanted to try out, but I also have not finished this piece either. So I'm still trying to, I'm like, do I do this one? Or do I wait until like closer to November when we're in like closer to Thanksgiving time? I don't know who was there yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday. I feel pretty good about this rib cage because it did not start out that way, and I feel like it came together. I feel like it finally came together. Is it perfect? No, but I think it gets like I think it gets the job done from a distance. Or maybe I'm just hopeful, but let's see. Mm-hmm. All right, what I'll leave it to you guys. What would you rather see? Do you want me to work on the scarecrow, or do you want me to work on like a seamless pattern that would be like Halloween themed? Let's go in here. So this was my initial like quick design, but these are the colors that I think I'd be working in. This is a palette I made up earlier today. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, I can't decide. Perhaps I should have been more decisive. Pattern? Okay, I'll do the pattern. That sounds fun. All right, I'm gonna start with this light pink as the base color. That might change, and I might even lighten that up some, but I'm gonna start with that as like a base color. And then, I love working in the Inca brush, so I think I'll work in that as like my base. I am going to duplicate it though and just make a minor adjustment. So right now it kind of has this blunter edge, which is fine, but I do like more tapered ends. So I'm going to do that. And I don't have a specific design in mind, so I'm just gonna start, and you might see me erase and redraw quite a bit, but hopefully not. We'll see what happens. You never know. I'm just free-handing it. How is everyone's day going? And let's see. I like the idea of like floral elements. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe like a slightly lighter color, something like that. Oh, I'm glad your day is going well. Oh, good, good, good. Mondays sometimes, you know, depending on what your life is like, can be rough. I'm glad that so far Monday's going pretty well. And I'm not looking for it to be perfect. A lot of these details, you know, end up getting lost anyways when you like, you know, back out. So I just want to make sure that I'm not hyper fixating on trying to get it just right, but also it's okay if you're like, I'm very specific. That's fine. I'm going to choose to try and not be too fixated on any one thing right now. And let's see, I think this will be some sort of flower. Hi, hello from Brazil. How are you? Hello, hello, welcome. What time is it there? All right, and what I really wanted to do is try and use a very like limited palette for this. So if you take out the black and white, really we're working with 4 colors. And so I really wanted to try and stick within those 4 colors. And then if you actually think about it, we're working in technically more like 3 colors because pink is the background. So, and I could change that, like I could keep this as a color, and I might even do that right now as we're talking, and make this background an even lighter pink. Let's see, definitely make sure I keep that up, but then I also want to go a little bit lighter, so that we can see the difference. So there's not too much of a difference, so what I could do with this color is I can make it just slightly bit more saturated, so that way there is like an actual difference. So when I draw on here, it is at least readable, whereas it wasn't really before. Another thing that I can consider doing is, this tends to have a little bit more orange to it, so I could up the orange just a touch. And maybe even just a little bit darker, a little bit more peachy colored, but I think that one looks nice. I think that goes well with the background color, so I might do that. Okay, go back to this. Delete that swatch. Delete. Are you gonna let me move you over, or are you gonna be mean about it? You're gonna be mean. It's cool, it's fine. There we go. And then I'm not technically using this anymore. So we'll see how that goes. That was not what I meant to do, my bad. Let's cover this up. Oh, thank you. I am well. All right, so it's almost 6 o'clock there. Nice. Do you like living in Brazil? I've never been. I do hear it's lovely, but I don't have a first-hand experience. Let's see. I guess I would like to make pumpkins. So I'll start with one that's like this color. So one thing to note when we're making any sort of repeat pattern, before we're able to make it a repeat pattern, we have to make a design in the middle. Now you can make your design a lot more simplistic than what I'm doing, and you can also make them quite a bit larger. Let's see if I have an example in this one. When I created this was how big the pieces were when I started working in them. And then by the time I ended up moving them around and then making some adjustments, then it got even smaller, and then it got to this point. Because there is a point where I do end up going in and I start changing some of the details. So let's see. So if you look, these, it's hard to explain because you didn't see the step, but basically this pumpkin and this pumpkin and this pumpkin down here and this pumpkin all used to face the same way. See how these two are facing the same way? I tried to go in, obviously I missed that one, and I tried turning them so that way it has a little bit more spontaneity and not everything looks so copy and paste. All these hats used to, these hats used to be in the same direction. I ended up turning them. Like this hat and this hat used to be the same, so you can make some slight variations so that way it doesn't feel too repeated, because it is going to be a repeat pattern, but you also don't want the eye to immediately be able to go, wait a second, that's a pattern. So I'm using what's called PROCREATE. Sorry, I have lots of apps. So it's this PROCREATE, and it's compatible with iPhones and iPads, like Apple products essentially. Unfortunately, it's for iOS. Apparently it's not compatible with like other stuff, which is a bummer because I really like it and I think it's awesome. I might add in this color as well just to get some green variation. I'm trying to see how it look on here. I think that's just too vibrant. Let's see. So let me test it out on a different. Okay, what about this one? Will this one be better? I think I like this one. Or do I want a darker color in here? Too close to black. All right, I'll do the medium one. So this one. So it was already one of my chosen colors. Well, sorry, this one, which I had moved over, is one of my chosen colors. Okay. I'm not keeping very good track of my layers right now. Ignore me. I mean, like, obviously don't ignore me because then you might miss what I'm doing. But like, yeah, I'm not perfect. In case anybody needed that reminder. I'm just gonna make some just simple leaves. I'm not gonna worry about them being perfect. All right, let's try doing, I want to try pumpkin maybe here with that color, something that's like just blends in a bit more, but still takes up space. And then I'm going to try black with this one. We don't want the hats to be the only thing that have black. We want to try and find some balance. Okay. And then maybe I can do some sort of like black flowers. And I do use a little bit of white, so I also want to make sure I am trying to incorporate white as well. And I could probably do, what kind of flowers do I want? I could do some like this. I don't like that. Okay, well at least we know now I don't like that. So let's see, how do I feel about something like this? And white flowers in this shape or design may not. That one might work. I'm gonna keep them for now off to the side there and just play with it. I will use white though for here and here. Okay. And then maybe I can use this color. Okay, I like that. I don't like that, so I am going to get rid of these. There we go. I'm just gonna take a sip of my drink. Give me one sec, guys. Sorry, that was ice. If you're wondering, what was that weird crunching sound? I'm gonna look at some of my previous patterns because I know there's some that have some like designs in it that I really liked. I like those. I like those flowers. Dandelions are nice. Okay. Oh, I like the berries. Okay. So I'll just combine them. So one thing that's nice, I mean, obviously, if you want to create a pattern with overlapping elements, you totally can. But what's nice about keeping your elements separate is that if I need to later, I can use my selection tool, make sure I'm on freehand. I'd be able to hand select and move this around if I wanted, theoretically speaking. Am I not on the right? I'm not. Oh, it's because it ended up on a separate layer. My bad. So that is like a nice feature, being able to hand select and move things around if I need to, if I just don't feel like placement's right or I need to move things, or even copy. So that way you don't have to redraw every element. So just keep that in mind. once you overlap them, it gets a little bit harder. It's not like difficult, but it is, you know, it becomes an extra challenge if you want to start editing or moving things around. Okay. Okay. So the way that I'm trying to think of this one is probably best if so this is like the underside. I'm not sure if I'll keep it like that, but I'm just trying to, so you guys know what on earth I'm doing. Okay, so now it's colored in. So I do think this needs just a little bit cleaner lines. So I'm just gonna go in. Now, an option that I have, because I think this color is just too vibrant, I could do like a really, really dark gray as another color to add in. And what will help with the perspective of trying to figure out what on earth is happening is just make sure that we make it so that the line is curved, so we know that perspective-wise we can't see what's going on around the rim of this hat. Maybe I'll even, okay, I'm gonna make these flowers, so undo. And these here. And then we can add the details. That one I want to have a little leaf here. And what you want to keep in mind so that you don't get too attached to how it looks up close is zooming out, because ultimately we're looking for readability at a distance, not super up close. And I'm going to use white, and I'm just going to create a little bit of texture on the ends of these. I don't know what to call them, reeds. But there we go. And we could try something as simple as just like having a line to make this suggestion there. I think that looks good, but if you guys disagree, let me know. I'd be totally down for feedback. I'm gonna try out making a pumpkin this color. I'm not sure if I'll end up liking it or not, but I'm gonna try it out. And I'm actually gonna turn this. And let's try this color. Oh, not an eraser brush. Okay, I think that works. And then I can have like another pumpkin. I can have one here. Let's change up the shape though. Let's make it a little bit more like a pear. And still do black, I think. Alrighty. Then I'm going to grab this like orangish color and I'll make some leaves. And we can add details in there soon. I might even add one here. I don't know if you guys could hear my oldest laugh. That was definitely like a belly laugh. And I'll do this like pink. Okay, do some more of this orange pumpkin down here, color it in that way because I'm starting to get lazy. And if you guys, I'm talking out loud to myself, but if you guys want to talk about anything, just say so. I want that color. So actually, let me undo that. Yeah, I like that better. I don't want, I like this saturated, like salmon, but I just don't want it to be too loud on this piece. I already feel like the black and this teal are like our dark colors, but I don't want it too dominant. So we can use this dark salmon as like little highlights, but I don't want it to be too much. And I think I used this color on the last one. Where are you? Are you really on here? Okay, that's there. Okay. Do some flowers. And okay, so for this design I did this darker color. It does not have to be identical when I make the pieces, but some semblance of like cohesive continuity is good. Continuity makes people feel safe. gonna try real quick on a new layer though, just in case I don't like it, breaking this up with some black here. I think that looks better. There in front of it. Make sure I take care of these little details. Okay. Alrighty. I'm halfway tempted to put yellow in here. But I don't know if I should do that. Let's see. What do you guys think? Yellow add or just stick to the palette we're on? Let's see. I'll just add a couple things here and you guys can tell me if you feel like yellow adds or takes away. I feel like it takes away. Now that I'm sitting on it, like looking at it. All right. Now what do I want to do? Let's try. I don't feel like that color's a good color to use as like a, unless I break it up like that. So maybe I can do a couple of those in here. This really vibrant orange so I can make some more like maple leaves. And I will try with this one. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm kind of working all over the place. I'm gonna grab these. I'm gonna make everything a little bit bigger to take up more space. So that way I can actually get to the point where you guys can see what I actually plan to do. Now, obviously by doing this, I'm risking creating, because these are raster images, so they're pixelated, me expanding or shrinking risks us losing some of the pixel information, meaning that it could blur. I'm not really worried about that because this is just a practice piece, but just something to keep in mind. So when you do go to move, you can, this interpolation, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but this button right here, so you're at the transform and then down here at the bottom, it'll say either like nearest neighbor, so nearest the bicubic or the bilinear, and you can try to when you go to stretch, you can see which one, you know, gives you the best choices. So when I let go, I can like look and see, okay, this is a little bit, you know, blurry compared to say down here where the line's much more crisp. So undo. I can try the bicubic, I think I'm saying that correctly, and stretch it, and I can see, you know, if I zoom in, it loses some. So far I think that one looks the best between those two options. And then I can also try nearest neighbor. So we're gonna stretch it, and I'm doing extreme stretching so we can really see it. And then I'm gonna zoom in, and this one ended up keeping the most pixels and the most texture. So this one actually is the best in my opinion for making larger, like stretching the size of your items. Okay, so first what I want to do for this is I want to separate the top and the bottom. So I just use my freehand selection tool here, and I've circled the areas that I want to separate from this up here. And with 3 fingers, slide down, and I can hit cut and paste, meaning that now these are on totally separate layers. So I don't have to worry about accidentally stretching this or stretching this. And once I finalize it, they're on the same layer, which would mean they'd overlap and stay all on the same layer. We don't want that. We want them to be separate so that if I want to move this here, that's fine, because now I can just move this over here, no problem, without them getting stuck together. And then of course you can keep doing that you could do it with every object. You know, if I want to separate these from this, I totally can. If I want to separate all the pumpkins from the hat, I totally can. There's no wrong way to do it. That's just the most obvious. There was a delineation between the two, so that's what I went with first. So I'm going to grab this and make it larger to begin with. I like the size, make sure it still looks good. It does. I can of course always go in. I'm going to show you guys right now. So if I went on back with my Inka brush with a fresh line, this is what the fresh line looks like, okay? And this is the old line. Pretty good. It's not perfect. You can see there's some pixelation here, but it's not too bad. Okay, and then we're gonna do what I like to call art Tetris next, and we're gonna do that with this layer. So first I'm gonna start by pushing this larger. Okay, before I do that, actually, sorry, let me duplicate it, because I don't want to lose anything that I might intentionally push off of the area. So I might have to make this bit a bit smaller. I like this hat though, about this size, and that means I am going to lose some of the details. I'm just going to erase what I don't need on this particular one, because I have it saved on that backup layer that we duplicated. So I have this now on its own layer, and then I have these. So I don't need this anymore. If I want, I can just erase it. So I can just straight up erase this hat, so I don't get confused about everything. And now I still have these pumpkins when I'm ready to grab them. So back to this layer, I'm going to make this just a touch smaller because I don't want them overlapping. And I might even flip horizontally, vertically. Oh, I hear my kiddo. Hi, baby.
Ready.
Yeah, your experiment's ready?
Yeah, I just took the bottle of sodium acetate, sprinkled it onto the gray container.
Okay, let me tell the people that I'm drawing with that I'll be back in a minute, okay? I'll be right there. All right, guys, I will be back in like less than 5 minutes, probably honestly only about, what, a minute, 2 minutes?
It will take like 2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay, I'll be back in 2. I'm gonna mute the video, but I'll be back. Hi guys, thanks so much for waiting. Sorry about that. My 8-year-old is very much into experiments right now, so he was just excited to show me. Okay, I ran up the stairs, so I apologize. I'm out of shape as well as getting old. It's both. Mostly out of shape though. Okay. So, real quick, I'm going to do that and do that so I can see what we're working with. I'm going to do that. That. Put it on its own layer, so nope, that didn't work. Ah, my brain. Undo. There we go. Okay. Just here. Boop. And that's its own layer now. And then I want to go over here. Make this its own layer. And now this is also on its own layer. It has, it's picking up something that I don't know where it is, so I'm just gonna go here and also make it its own layer. And then I can get rid of this layer that has like a mysterious speck somewhere. All right, now that I have these, I can turn back on the other layers, and now I can do the art Tetris part where we move stuff around. I can even maybe put something here. I'll do that. And now I can move these here. And I've got this one as well. And I can put that maybe like there. And so now we have space for me to still add stuff, but it's not as much surface space like it was at the beginning. I'm just gonna combine them all again because they are all separate in terms of they're not overlapping elements. I can always go in and individually select them. I don't fear that I won't be able to get a hold of something. Here would be harder, right? Because there is overlapping, but I consider this one element because it's painted together. If you're new here, hi, my name is Bree. I am breathless. And I am trying to do a seamless pattern using a limited palette. And hi, hello. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. I want to make some of these down here. What I could do though is I could just select these specific pieces and I could just press copy and paste, and so now I have a duplicate of that and I can move it down here. I can also size it down, and if I wanted I could also make some differences to it, but now this saves me some time in terms of repainting. I do like it bigger though, so I'm going to not resize it smaller. I'll keep it like this. And I'm going to put one more somewhere over here. I'll just put it here for now. I don't know if that's exactly where it'll end up, but. And then combine everything. Okay. And let's see. I'm going to, I'm just deciding if there are any other elements that I want to like copy. I think I can copy this. And I will put that maybe over here. If you are new to making repeat patterns, before we actually start making a repeat pattern, you want to make sure you have all of your elements inside of this border line. So on our canvas, we don't want anything essentially bleeding off the canvas. If you do have it bleeding off the canvas, that will make it so that it cannot be a perfectly replicated pattern later. It took me a while to figure out how to do this, and I think it was last year or the year before. I had to watch so many tutorials on how to do it myself. It took me forever. I literally was like, I don't understand this. Why can't I get it right? And now I could never forget it. You guys are very quiet today, which is not a problem. It's just something I've noticed. Hi. How are you guys? How is everyone? I'm trying to think if there's like one more. I definitely want to add another hat here, but I'm trying to think if there's any other like witchy type element I want to add. Maybe I could do like a crescent moon, or my brain will get there. Okay, so for now I'm going to just take out that layer so that I can just focus on drawing my next piece and not worry about trying to squish it where it needs to be, because I can always resize and figure that out after. So now I want to focus on just design. So I'm thinking a shorter pointy hat. And now I just gotta figure out what design I want. I don't like this. You're not a part of this. Let's see. I did this color, I did that color. Maybe I could do this. Question is, how do I want to do this? Maybe like a cute little bow. Maybe like a little flower or something. And we can use this gray to help establish some of the shape. Maybe even like the bottom line of the hat. No, don't do that. No, it's not working. Don't do that. Okay, I've got these back, so now I want to put this over here. And now I can work on the shape. Also, if ever you're like, I don't know, I mean, mine's obviously, the shape is obviously not shaping. It's not symmetrical, which is fine. But if ever you're like, I don't know if it's like that or not, just flip your image horizontally. This works really well if you're doing especially like a portrait of a person head on, like if you're trying to do someone like literally just straight on. If you do the horizontal flip, you'll be able to tell where your person is asymmetrical. This still helps if you're working on things that are like if you have someone that's like at a side profile or a quarter view, it'll still show you, because when you flip it, your eye sees it differently. And so you'll be able to go, whoa, that's off, that the chin is too far out, or you know, their jawline is jutting too much, whatever it might be. Or, oh, that eye is way too big on the left. You know, it should actually be smaller. Those types of things. Let's see, what else can I do for this one? What can I do? Maybe some sort of like flowers. My poor computer. Somehow I accidentally I don't know how I did it, but somehow I accidentally opened up all of my bookmarked pages, and it's very sad and confused why I would overwhelm it like that. My bad, computer. My bad. My laptop's very old, so sometimes it has it's a touch screen, and sometimes the touch screen goes like just absolutely bonkers, and it will accidentally pick a bunch of things that I'm like, I did not ask for that. I know I did not. I'm just looking up some inspiration for like filling in some of these spots. Okay. All right. Let's do this. I really appreciate you guys spending time here. I lost not my train of thought, but like I lost my train of drawing. Sorry. I definitely need another one of these in there, so I'm just going to copy it for now, and I might hand draw in another one, but there's no reason why I should overcomplicate this for myself, so I'll just do that. I do like to try and keep things at least in 3s and 5s, like odd numbers. So we only have 2, so I'm going to hand paint in 1 over here. Definitely a smaller size than these, because again, we don't want it to be too repetitive. It's okay to copy and like duplicate already drawn elements, but it also helps to just continue to keep it as unpredictable and randomized as possible. Has anybody been to a pumpkin patch yet? I really want to make sure I go to one this weekend. Okay, So I think it's starting to feel more balanced. Not like perfect balance, but it's getting better. I'm gonna do some white flowers here. And maybe one over here. Okay, so here's like another element that I only have like one of, so it'd be a good idea for me to add that in other places. So I'll put one down here or over here. Maybe I'll do it here. And what did I use? Okay, I used the green here, and then I used this light. And I feel like I can do this one a little bit better. There we go, that looks a little friendlier. And now I could probably put one over here, and I might put one over here later, depending on how it's balancing, but for now I'm gonna put one here. Okay, so I think with this one I need to put probably some white here, maybe here. Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us. I wanted to do a repeat pattern today. I finished one of my other paintings basically yesterday, and I just decided it's done for now, so it's time to start a new project. All right. All right, so let's see. I'm going to try this one and try and do some like larger leaf elements. I don't like the shape of this one, so I'm just gonna repaint it real quick. Okay. And then this one, I can have go like this. Okay, so then I can put one here as well, but have it be a little bit smaller. And it's good to move it around so you're not looking at it from the same angle at all times. You can see, you know, different gaps, different placement. Let's see. I really need to do a painting of an owl. I think that's got to be on the horizon and soon. Okay. Oh, my poor. What color? This one, maybe? I'll go this way. Sorry. We're about to get to the part where we actually make it into a repeat pattern. So that's the good news. I think that could work. Okay. And maybe a couple more of these vibrant leaves. I really don't like them though, so I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I won't do that. But I could do more black flowers. All right, it's good enough for now. It's like full enough, so now I can show you guys the next steps. Is it perfect? Probably not, but that's okay. So one of the mistakes that often happens is people will try to, and I'll just show the mistake because I feel like some people can't quite understand unless they see it. I know I'm one of them, so I'm just gonna go ahead and treat it that way. So when I grab this, basically when I grab these elements, and I take, so it's not attached to this background, so basically the background is see-through, right? So this could be like a PNG right now if we wanted to export it as one. However, we do want this pink background, and I have this background on because it's there. But when I go to grab this, there is a gap here. There's a gap here, and there's a gap here. And it's also probably not perfect because look down here, it's a little bit closer to the edge than this one is, which means that if I were to go ahead and move this around to try and make it a seamless pattern, mathematically, it just simply wouldn't be. Just math, not even art, just maths. So for example, if I were to grab, I'm gonna do this, I'll duplicate it, and I'm gonna just save these in here. Nope, undo whatever I just did. Save these two in here so that way I have my originals. And I'll just change the background color like this. Okay, so we have like these two layers. If I wanted to try and make them into a repeat pattern, say I have this on uniform, say I have this on like snap and magnets, which helps make it mathematically correct. One of the things that our first steps would be to move from right to left, left to right. So if I move this over, we want to make sure that it lines up with the yellow. And we could technically do that here because it's yellow and yellow. And we could do that here by going from, again, right to left now. Make sure that we're getting those yellow lines, which tell us that I'm gonna just do snapping. Let's see if that helps. There we go. And so now, yellow. You can not yet tell, but I'm gonna combine them. And then I'll do the same here. Move it up, move it down. When I go now to actually turn this into also do magnets for this one. And I'll explain all this when we actually do the real one. But I'm going to show you what happens when we don't get it to mathematically go to the edge. We're going to end up with patterns that don't line up appropriately. They will be off. They will not line up. And no matter how you can try and move them and try and line it up perfectly now, it's a nightmare and it won't work. I've done it once successfully and every other time not. I don't recommend doing it. Mine was out of pure desperation to fix a project which I wasn't smart enough to save a bunch of layers that I needed and whatnot, so don't recommend. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete these because we don't need them. So I'm gonna show you how to get it so it mathematically works. So right now we have this layer and this layer, okay? If we had a design on this underside, which is the pink layer 1 here, I'm going to show you how to treat it as though this one needs to be separate from this because it too needs to also slide and move around. And I'll even create like a goofy design on the back just so you can see what I mean, okay? Ugly, goofy design. And like we'll go like this, okay? We want both selected because when we select this one hits all the way to the edge of the canvas, right? It goes all the way. So mathematically it's going to work. So when we grab both, we could combine them if we wanted, but if we wanted to try and figure out if we want the background to be a certain way, I would not recommend yet. But I do know what I want, so I'm just going to go back now and fill it in. Fill. Okay, so I have these two. You could also just grab the group. It's up to you, but I'm just going to grab. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm going to duplicate, okay? So there's each group. Grabbing this group, or you can grab these layers if you don't want to use groups. I'm going to be on uniform, transform tool, make sure my snapping, can do magnets. Let's see how it behaves. So the yellow's working there. I just got to make sure the yellow's also working there. I've been finding magnets to be really frustrating to work in, so I've just been doing more snaps. If you're having a hard time, you can also zoom in. Okay. Can we not hate me right now? That would be great, thank you. Let's make you invisible. I'm just gonna grab this whole group. Okay, pretend you're not seeing this part, just for a sec. Okay, grabbing this. moving over. So yellow and yellow are both on right now. And you see how it goes all the way up there to that edge, and it's all yellow. That means it's mathematically perfect. So now we can leave it. I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to move from this side to this side now. So left to right, right to left. You could do it backwards, doesn't matter. The point is to just slide it to the opposite side. Again, you need to make sure, because right now it looks like, oh, like look, it's good, it snapped, but it didn't. So you really have to make sure that you are in fact getting the yellow lines, which I'm getting at the bottom. You really want to make sure you're getting that confirmation that it is in fact lining up. For some reason, it's still giving me blue. Another way to tell is like this. So I took out the background so that we can see when it's separated. Zooming all the way in, moving it over. Looks good. So now we have the design so that it's opposite. And I personally, I don't like to add, because sometimes I like to change the background color from this color to something else. Sometimes I like to play around, which is why I don't combine that light pink with this layer. I just don't like not being able to change the background, because right now the background color looks good like this, but I could also try changing it to other colors that would be also, you know, that could be fun. The light color, the light blue could be fun. So there's other backgrounds that I could make for it. And that's why I really try I try to keep this as its own separate layer. So now that we have this, see how this bleeds off? So if I wanted to continue to move this piece this way or this way, it will mathematically work both sides. But it's not going to work up and down yet because we haven't taken the top to the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom. So that's our next move. So we're going to duplicate this layer. But again, when we go like this, it doesn't reach the top. It does reach the sides though, on both sides, but it does not reach the top, and it does not perfectly reach the bottom. So we are going to, for both of these, add a layer underneath each one. This layer 3, I'm just going to hit fill because I already have the color I want. Layer 4, I'm going to hit fill that layer. So now when I grab layer 3 and 4, which layer 3, but you know what I mean, the top two, and I select it, now it goes all the way to the edges, which is what we want, so that we can go from bottom to top, top to bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this until I get that confirmation, yellow and yellow lines. Perfect. Now I'm going to grab these, and now I'm going to slide them down and get confirmation. I definitely have the yellow on the sides, and I'm going to take this out. So obviously I can tell I need it right there. Okay. So now it should be technically a repeat pattern as is, and you could use this as is. I'll do it right now as a repeat pattern so you can see what it looks like. However, you can tell there's some like bald areas. And so for these, for these bald areas, as long as we keep the same principle as we did in the beginning, you can add, move around, whatever you want, as long as you don't have it bleed off the edge. So you can put anything you want in the center, okay? If at any point you go, okay, this looks good, but now it's starting to feel like a little naked up here or a little naked down here, all you got to do is just switch them, and then it would make them the center of this piece again, okay? So now I don't even have to use a layer behind it, because now everything bleeds off, which means it touches the edge of this piece. So let's say I wanted to work on this area and this area, all I got to do is just switch. Go like this, and now I could work on this area that was bleeding off before and looking kind of, right, this looks open here, so I could put something there if I wanted. Okay, so let's see, I don't need all of these. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like as a repeat pattern, and then we can kind of see how making sure we fill in the spaces works to our advantage. I will keep an additional one, this one down here, separate from the others. Maybe I'll just go like this. Okay, and make it a group. So this is like my originals, and you can name it original, but this is my original. So if I mess up any of these, we still got this to go back to. So you can do it whatever order you want. If you need to label these, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, by all means, but similar idea to all the rest. I'm going to select the transform. I make sure my snapping is on. I don't want the magnets on. I could do magnets because everything's mathematically correct now. So I have all that on. I'm on uniform. Now, before when we were doing everything, we were going from, the right to the left, left to the right, top to the bottom, bottom to the top. So now we're going to go from one bottom corner up to the top. So it's opposites. So we're just going to slide that over there. We're going to slide this one up and over here. Top to bottom. And then other corner top down to bottom. And now we have a repeat pattern. If you zoom in, it should be perfect. There should be no weird lines anywhere. This is why we keep the original in case we're like, oh, we messed up somewhere. Okay, so that all looks good. Overall, I don't think it looks horrible, but you can see that this kind of has like a square effect right here, right? So there's like almost this very clear delineation. There's a line there and a line there, kind of like a tic-tac-toe happening. And so if we go back to this original one, or just take, for example, one of these, but have it stretched across the screen and start filling in these spaces, it won't be obvious. So I'll show you guys how to do that part. But now we know it's got a good feel for it, right? So here you can already see this is that beginning of the tic-tac-toe line. And that's because when we did the original had just a little bit of space around the edges, right? Because we can't have anything bleeding off the sides when we go to begin the project, because if it bleeds off, then mathematically it won't work out later. So now we can actually pay attention and do stuff here. Some of the way that you can fix this without having to repaint or recreate anything, I'll just duplicate this. Again, I'm going to keep my original, move that up, and I'll just work in this. You can literally, instead of repainting or painting new stuff, you can just move some of the elements around. And just, oh my goodness, why am I struggling so much? Sorry guys, this is a me thing. This is not a project thing, this is a me thing. Project should not be this hard. So you can move stuff more to be in that center area so it doesn't have this like straight line that's pretty obvious and clear. I'm gonna move this down a bit, like that. And already you can tell here looks a lot more natural than over here or up and down here. But this is starting to look a little bit better. It also could use some filling, so I'm just gonna grab some black. I'm gonna do some black flowers here to fill up the space. It's always good to have some smaller elements that you can use for filling these types of areas. Okay, and then I just need like one thing here. I can either try and grab something from somewhere or I can hand paint in something. It's your call. Trying to decide what do I want to do here. I'll just paint in some white flowers, make it easy on us. And maybe like one here, maybe like one there. That might be too much, but we'll see. No, that looks fine. Okay, grab this darker pink, fill this in. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this. I'm gonna move it. Actually, I like it up here, but maybe just move it over a bit. And then grab this color. I'm going to create a smaller one here just to fill up the space. And then for here, I could do this little pumpkin. So I'm gonna grab it. And just make sure you change it up a bit so it doesn't look too much the same. You can resize and make it smaller if you want, up to you. So I've got those. Right here would be a good place for some black flowers to continue to maybe even down here a little bit. Okay, so one here. And I'm really not liking that part, so I will keep those, and I will put this one here. Select white. Okay. I think some black right here would be good. White would be nice in here to help balance everything. All right, we're almost there. We almost have this area and this area taken care of, so it will hopefully look a little bit more natural. I'm just trying to see if I'm going to copy this element down here. Copy, and I'm going to bring it up here maybe. Over here. That. And let's see. I like this one down here. Copy. And I'll put that one over here. All right. And then I could do one of these, I think, in here. Maybe I can do something like that. And then this color. And I think this design would go nicely right in here. So I'm gonna go like this. Maybe push it a little bit further. Okay, so that's probably fine. And of course we can see how it looks now, and make sure that it reads well, that there's nothing that looks awkward or too repeated. So I'm going to duplicate this because it is sort of a final. I'm going to put that in my final folder and duplicate this so that I have 4 different layers. I'm going to start on the bottom one. I'm going to select, make sure I'm on uniform, put on my snapping and magnets, and I'm going to start at the bottom right and bring it up towards the left. I'm going to pick the bottom left up towards the top right. I'm going to pick the top right down towards the left at the bottom, and top left down towards the right bottom. Okay, and now this is our repeat pattern. Hopefully it looks a little bit more cohesive and less like there's squares or a tic-tac-toe design happening. Of course, you can continue to rework this. There's no limit to how long you can continue. And even here, so at this stage, we can even create more change at this stage. We don't have to go back further. We can actually work right here, and I'll show you how I would do that. So I'm going to combine all these. So now this is like our new, I'm going to also duplicate that and put it in our save final folder. So on this one, we don't have a whole lot of moving room, so this would be hard to do in this piece, but what we could do potentially is we could do things like grab the witches' hats and like move them and turn them and stuff. I'm not going to do that though because it's just going to be way too much. But I did do that on, I'll show you which piece. I did on this one. When I did this one, I moved the hats into different directions because I had things much more spaced out. And I did that for the pumpkins on this as well. So you can see I really only have, I have 3 different hats on this one. And I have 1, 2, 3, only 4 different pumpkin designs. And I only have one of this like leaf thing, and then I only have a few variations of the stars. So it was really easy to have the space to be able to like maneuver and turn things around. So it really depends on how intricate your pattern is. Much easier to do on something like this, much harder to do when you have more detail pressing in around your objects. But this I could definitely like, I could take pumpkins and flowers and shift and move those around. It would be harder for me to do that with these though. So I'm actually not going to move around because I realized how much I actually packed myself in between all of these elements. So it would be really difficult to do now. Possible? Yes. Difficult? Also yes. Oh, but I could show you if you were determined to do that. I'd recommend 1, grabbing the main source that you want. Once you have it selected, slide down with 3 fingers, more or less. There we go. Cut and paste. So now you would have this element totally separate from the rest. And that would make it a lot easier for you to start to move around other elements as well if needed. Again, not going to go through that hassle myself, but so yeah, this is my repeated design for today. And if you are new or just joining, I finished this one last night. I worked most of the end of this in a live the other day. But today the only thing I changed about it was this was a gray background. I made it black. I would like to add wallpaper, but I haven't decided what that's going to be, so I'm just going to leave it as is for now. I have tutorials if anybody is interested. I have ones for how to make these scarves. So if you're looking on how to make scarves quickly, efficiently, with little effort, I teach you how to make brushes that do the work for you. If you're looking for how to paint Halloween pumpkins, I've got this tutorial out. I've also got this simple pumpkin tutorial out. I've got this simple tree tutorial out. How to make this fox, sorry. Thinking of wolves. I have a tutorial out for this. This one's more, it's a very in-depth, detailed, like you have to sit down and really get into that one. The other ones are much shorter. This one's like 1 hour and 40 minutes, I think, whereas like something like this, I think is only like maybe a 30-minute tutorial. And then something like the tree, that's like a 10-minute tutorial. I have a tutorial for how to do this leaf and how to get like the water effect. I also have one for this, how to get this piece. So I have some tutorials out there. I'd like to, I'm still building up I'm a smaller channel, so I'm still building up how to get to this point. I also have a tutorial on how to paint this. Because I did do it in watercolor before, and someone asked how I would do it digitally and make it look somewhat like watercolor, so that was my attempt at it. So I do have, I have a lot of these up for you guys if anybody's looking for some stuff to work on. I will try and get a tutorial of this up tomorrow. Now, especially now that I've done the hard work of designing, recreating it and getting it to make sense will be much faster. Yeah, yeah, I think I'm done for the night. I've been on for like an hour and a half. Thank you so much for subbing. Much appreciated. I hope that you find my content useful and helpful to you. It's always wonderful to connect with other creatives. As always, your time is appreciated. Time is a resource that is finite. We don't get it back. So the way that we choose to spend our time is important, and I really appreciate that you guys chose to spend time here. Hi. Oh no, I'm so sorry you missed it. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't see why I won't be here tomorrow. I normally don't do lives in the evening, but I decided to give it a try today. I tend to have more energy in the morning and more creativity as well, so I tend to do morning lives and not afternoon ones, but I figured why not. I had a little energy. So this is recorded right now, so this will be posted. Is it the most coherent of information? No. But what I do plan to do is actually re-record this tomorrow. So basically I'm going to repaint and remake everything, and then I will edit it and make it into a very, hopefully, understandable, broke down tutorial so that it can be efficient and easy to understand for everyone. That would be the goal. All right, does anybody have any questions? Oh, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. Does anybody have any questions, suggestions, anything? I'm super open before I leave. Sorry if I'm a little on the quiet side today, as I'm trying. I'm just making sure there's not like a lag. It's also okay if nobody has anything they said. It's okay, that's fine. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. All right, everybody. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, no matter where you are or what's going on. Please make sure that you water yourselves, you eat, food. That's always a good idea. Rest is important, so please make sure you're also taking care of yourselves. I know that can sometimes be hard, but anything that you can do extra to take care of at least your basic needs. I know sometimes it's hard to even meet those, but if you can, do it. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this live, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.